Hi, my name is Mrinalini Chandra. I make jewelry. I come from Lucknow. We've just completed 5 years in the industry. I've had the privilege of working with one of the best people and some of the most gifted karigars all across our country. In 5 years, I've experimented with at least 8 to 10 crafts from India. I've gone to their origin lands where they come from, where they started, where the entire history is, and we've tried to incorporate that in our modern, quirky design aesthetic, and the results have been very well received, for which I'm extremely grateful. We make our own alloy. It's essentially 92.5% silver, and then we mix it with different kind of metal, sometimes copper, sometimes brass, sometimes other metals. Where I come from in Lucknow, there's something called Ashtatu, which is basically an alloy made of 7 metals, and it's extremely good for skin. So sometimes I play with that, but I try to incorporate as much of recycling as we can, because that way we are not contributing to any metal waste, and that's one of the main principles that my entire brand ideology stands with. And we gold plate all our pieces. I prefer doing a 24 karat gold plating, but that depends. If somebody wants, we can also do a lighter. It can be a 22 or an 18, and nowadays even a 14 karat plating, depending on what the client prefers. And everything that I do is extremely very eco-friendly. We do not do any kind of casting, so we do not contribute to any plastic waste. Everything is handmade and everything is hand jali cut. So my pieces take a lot more time, and they're more, since everything is handcrafted and it's done at the pace that a karigar takes, I think the beauty of it enhances just by the process. It's inspired by my idea of Istanbul. I've really not been to Turkey, but I've been seeing so many beautiful pictures. I've been reading the poetry from one of the most beautiful poets that have come from Turkey, and I've been very inspired by poetry, and I just imagined a story where a poet falls in love with a carpet seller's daughter. And I just imagined that how beautiful it would be when he sees her for the first time amidst all the color and all the beautiful Turkish pottery, and it would just take his breath away and he would lose himself in that moment. So that was the whole idea behind this collection, and it's a very romantic, very poetic, extremely ornate collection. And it has a lot of shoulder dusters because I wanted to play with movement. So as women, we like when things, when we have something to play with, we like to play with our chains, we like to keep touching our earrings. So that's what I've tried to capture, that essence, and give women what they like in terms of jewelry, something that makes a statement, but it's delicate enough to, for them to carry it off without getting troubled. So that is something that is extremely the prime importance in this collection. And we've done enameling, Jaipuri Meena on this collection, and we've tried a new technique in making the pieces. It's a different kind of embossing that we've tried this time, so that the pieces, even though they're really large in sizes, they're extremely light. So you don't have any kind of pains when you're wearing it, because I myself love wearing jewelry, and I really like my jewelry to be light, so I can maybe walk around, dance in it, and not get stressed about the weight. So that's something that I've really tried to maintain in this collection. So they're very light, they're beautifully in different colors, and perfect for festive, bridal. Completely different from designing jewelry for real people, and I would say that it's equally fun and equally challenging, because one, you get to really play with what's on your mind, because there's more scope for more sort of like drama in your pieces, and I love making pieces which are completely out of the box and very different in terms of concept. So Bollywood gives me the chance to really create something, and so I love working with on movie projects and with celebrity clients. My favorite would be my recent project with Priyanka Chopra when I did her wedding kalira. So not just was she a Bollywood icon, but also it was for her wedding. So it became a mix of the two things that I like most, and those kaliras were, I think, one of the best things that I've really ever had a chance to work with, and she's one of the most incredible people to work with. So with her and her stylist Ami, the way we created the whole thing, the entire journey was completely something that I will treasure for life. So that is something that it's really close to my heart, and I'm working on a project with I won't say, but I'm really looking forward to. It's going to release next year, so that's also something that was a really fun project. When buying jewelry online, one must be careful of zooming it enough to know that the finish and the color that you're going to get, it may be a little different, thoda upar niche, because it's on the screen, it looks really different sometimes, but overall the designs are more or less what you see is what you get. And since it's handmade, the feel is very different in your hand, and in fact I personally really like when something is handmade. It has its own character, and all our pieces are like no two pieces are similar, so that's something that I find the uniqueness the most promising part of all our pieces. And the weight of it is something that one must also make sure that you tend to, normally we do write on the website, and a lot of people do that when you're buying some say earrings or something, the weight is mentioned, so you can just sort of get an assessment as to how heavy would they be. And I would say, I mean, you know, this is the age of everything is online. You have the possibility of exchanging and returning. I think one must definitely try that, because it's a lot of fun, and you can sit at home and take your time and understand and then order, instead of when you're at the store, it's sort of like some kind of pressure because you have to take a decision right then. One of my favorites is the little dragonfly kaliras. They are it's got a very delicate vibe going on. It was made for a client who's a very dainty, beautiful girl who wanted something very delicate but wanted something big. So this is very light kalira also. We've done a jali pattern for her, and we've done these very beautiful little dragonflies, and it captures the entire sense of her very delicate, sweet romance, and it was something that she really liked, and it's one of my all-time favorites. And here you can see we have more. We have this fish kalira over here, which is because fish is considered lucky in Bengali, so I just did lots of fish. Then we have parrots. It's one of my first kaliras, and it has got a lot of popularity because of all the birds. So we have butterflies here. So yeah, so all the kaliras are extremely, we can do anything, and all of these things are made by hand again. All of these birds are made by hand, and everything is been, you know, every pattern is different. You will see here and here, all these things are really different. So it's a big range for all the girls to choose from, and we love to customize more things. I've also done cars, for instance. I've done beetle, you know, so a lot of really fun things that we've done for different kind of brides. So for brides who are looking for something contemporary for the wedding, and also something that that's lightweight and something that they can perhaps use more in the future, not just with traditional outfits but also say for going out, I would suggest something like this, which I made for my own wedding, and I loved wearing this. I've probably worn this piece a lot more than I've actually worn any of my real jewelry, because this is extremely versatile. It's inspired by peacocks and parrots, and I've made some lighter earrings with this to go, and I've worn this set over saris. I've worn it with jackets, and I've worn just the choker with the dress and something like a shirt also. So I've basically made the most out of it. So it becomes one of the best investments sort of a thing, because normally the traditional jewelry, I also have that, but I always suggest my brides that, you know, when you're actually going for your bridal, maybe you can take something which is a little different from traditional jewelry, and that will be something that sets you aside from the rest of the brides, and it's something that you will be able to make use of later. So it's something that I always suggest the brides, that, you know, breaking a little bit of monotony is always really good, because you anyway have something traditional to in real gold also. So I mean, you know, if you want to try, then you can really, and Also, everything doesn't have to really match, so you can do a contrast color. And we do a lot of customization for bridal jewelry as well. And you can pick up flower, we can make you flower jewelry, we can make you all the bird jewelry, and we can do a lot of these kind of things, which it just adds some kind of fun to it and more variability. And definitely you don't have to worry about the weight. They're all very lightweight pieces, so it brings to your wardrobe something that you may not have had, and something that will, every time you wear, it's going to stand out. So it's sort of like a conversation starter. So especially when you're getting married, I definitely feel that's the time you should, maybe do a little bit of experiment, because that's when you can. And yeah, so have fun a little bit. We've just started doing customized jewelry for men, and I'm extremely excited about that. We've just started a trend of making sehras for men. We are customizing sehras for men. This is something that has not been done in the past, and I have brides and grooms coming together and asking that, is there something for the groom? And I always more or less have to say, okay, I can do a brooch for you, but here's something more, and this is something more dramatic and something that you can really play with. You can match it to your sherwanis. And we have a lot more things for men coming up. We've started customizing for Bollywood, for some of the male actors, and that's also been a very exciting journey. And I'm very thankful to the stylists that we work with.